Welcome, everybody. It is Wednesday, the last day of June, 2021. And we are here on the Hopkinton Hangout Hour, as we are on most Wednesdays. Tonight, I'm very excited to talk about something that I think is not only good for us to know and very important, but also really timely because this weekend is the 4th of July, which means lots of cookouts and family gatherings and eating. So we have a guest on tonight who has been on our show before and is a font of information. And her name is Sue Ellen, and she works at the Joslin Clinic, as well as having started the program, which we talked about in our previous show, 360 Women. And she is full of important information for us to know about what we should be eating and what's good for us and like how to handle that type of stuff. So making sure everything is okay. Sue Ellen, welcome to our show.
Happy to be here. Yes, it's summer. I have lots of helpful hints. Hopefully, I'll be able to answer all your questions. So go right ahead.
We actually started talking about doing the show several weeks ago, and now I think it's really nice that we got to it just before this weekend. I can't think of anything else that I would have at a 4th of July celebration than hamburgers and hot dogs on the grill, maybe some macaroni salad or potato salad. We follow it up in our house with chipwiches, which is 2 chocolate chip cookies with a little vanilla ice cream in the middle. And
Mm.
that's kind of our staple 4th of July menu.
Wow.
I know, I'm telling, it's not like the best, but you know what I call that, Sue Ellen? That's our starting point, right?
That's just,
So let's talk about what we can do to help my situation.
all right. So, as you said, 4th of July is a lot of fun times with family members, and food is the theme. And so, to make some helpful switches, a helpful switch that you can incorporate are instead of well, if you do like hamburgers, right, you can try to switch from beef to turkey is a good option. If you're doing white buns, probably swap to whole grain buns if possible, or the leaner cut of turkey as well. The different cuts of turkey. There's the darker meat part, and the percent lean. It will say that on there. I'm a plant-based dietitian, so I'm always going to tell people to eat more plant-based, which are maybe veggie burgers, bean burgers, or low or no cholesterol, because if there's no animal source involved, there's going to be no cholesterol. There's going to be less fat, of course, with plant-based burgers. So those are something to try. A lot of people are trying plant-based foods, regardless if you are vegan or vegetarian. A lot of people are making that swap. So 4th of July may be an option for you. Or maybe if you eat 2 burgers, maybe have one of those plant-based burgers, swap that out. You're going to cut tons of calories. In terms of calories, fat has 9 calories per gram, protein has 4, and carbs has 4 calories per gram. So when you switch to a lower fat option, you're cutting your calories significantly. Something else that you can incorporate in your 4th of July celebration are vegetables and fruits. According to the CDC, 1 in 10 Americans are only getting enough fruits and vegetables that they need. So basically, 90% of Americans are not getting enough fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables are packed with tons of, phytonutrients, antioxidants, and they beat cancer, they beat inflammation, and as I mentioned the last time, cancer is number 2 killer. So even when we're enjoying ourselves, we want to enjoy our foods, but let's think about a little healthier option. So get some vegetables on the grill, get some in season now are some summer foods like zucchini, corn, summer squash. There's garlic is always there. You could always put garlic to flavor. You could put that on the grill. Do skewers with your protein, your favorite protein, and add the vegetables on the skewers, right? Corn is a favorite. And I would say that, add some veggies, add like some salsa, some low sodium seasoning, or maybe some pureed beans or some kind of sauce on top of the corn and enjoy it that way. So you're filling up with fiber foods. And in terms of fruits and vegetables, Americans are not meeting their fiber goals either. Again, if you don't have enough fiber, you're not going to get that feeling of fullness. You're not going to clean out that gut, that intestines, which affects the way you feel. Hungry affects your satiety, how hungry you feel and how full you feel. And I could go into that a little bit more about your gut health and the foods you eat, but those are 2 healthy swaps you could do. Get more veggies in, and then the third is like fruit salads. So a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want fruit because I'm trying to go keto or I'm staying away from sugar. Well, guess what? You're eating tons of sugar regardless. It's better to get natural sugar from fruits because you're getting sugar in the ice cream, the cakes and candies, and those are added sugars, right? Why don't you get some natural sugars into your diet and incorporate those phytochemicals, those star fighters, those vitamin C, vitamin A, that you need. And so fruits, just to let you know, they're low in calories. They're about like 80 calories per serving. Vegetables are 60 calories per serving. Okay. And if we think about a burger, which is 3, 4, maybe 500 calories, depending if you're adding cheese, depending on the cuts of meat, you can have some of the foods you may like, but let's try to make those healthy swaps, more fruits, more vegetables, work those into your 4th of July celebration. And there's more too, but I'll just stop here. I'll let you ask some more questions.
All right. So, wow. All right. When I said font of knowledge, I wasn't kidding. Now, I kind of infer from everything you were just saying that you have a pretty plant-centric diet yourself.
Yes.
All right. Now, have you always, or did you used to be?
No, I have not always. So you want me to expand on that?
Yes.
Okay, so I have not always had a plant-based diet. Growing up in Jamaica, our people always make, jerk chicken on the grill, curry, goat, and different types of things. As I got older and had children, I developed gut issues, and I also developed pregnancy issues related to, blood pressure and different things like that, and sort of high blood sugars. I have some stories of different things that have happened to me, and I was able to curb all those things. I was on medication. I was able to get off medication safely. I worked with my physician, and as a dietitian, I know what nutrients to do. And so, what eating meat doesn't mean I was on. Does eating meat and following, more of my culture doesn't mean that I was unhealthy, but it means that I was probably eating too much foods that were triggering certain um, drivers in my body. And so research does show that if the more animal foods you eat, the less diverse your gut is, your gut microbiome. And that leads me to the next issue I was having. I would develop gut issues. I was seeing a gastroenterologist, I was doing different things, and people didn't know what was going on with me. I actually, modified my intake. So I eliminated certain things and replaced others. But basically, I am almost 100% plant-based. And so what does that mean? I don't really eat much animal products at all. And for that reason, I have had relief. Inflammation has reduced. I don't take medications for blood pressure or any other issues. And I'm thankful to God also because he led me this way. But not just me. There's stories of patients that I've helped at the clinic, my personal clinic, and at Joslin, where I've helped them reduce their A1C. I've had them get medication or reduce medication with lifestyle. And so food is very powerful. About 70 to 80% of what you eat is driven by your gut, your intestines, and also it's related to weight loss. People always beat themselves up at the gym. Oh, I'm spending an hour. I just went on the treadmill for half an hour. I don't know what's going on. The scale won't budge. So I always say, what are you eating? Because 70 to 80% of it is what you're eating. And again, it's not always about weight loss, it's about just healthy living. But no, I have not always had a plant-based diet, but I realize now with what I'm doing, and I couple it with research. Research is not, science is true. And there's an article that came out with the gut microbiome that I did a review on Harvard Health Publishing. And they found out, this was a big journal article, it also was published in New York Times. They found out that the foods that help your gut to grow, the more diverse your gut is, it reduces your risk of diabetes, cancers, inflammation, heart disease. And guess what foods they found? It's because this is the first study that they've ever done in where they're getting samples of the microbes in a human's gut. In humans' gut, and guess what they found? The foods that the foods that they found to help increase the diversity. What do you think those foods are?
I'm going to guess high fiber plants.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so nuts, grains. They did find that some individuals that eat fish, white fish or egg, may be the only animal stored foods, but they did not find it with other animal foods. The only ones they found that kind of help the gut microbiome to prosper is the grains, like I said, the fruits, the vegetable, tons of fiber, and some egg and fish. So pescatarians, people that are vegetarians and vegans, those are the ones according to the blue zones that are also living longer. I encourage you guys to do some research on the blue zones. The people that are living longer in the world are the people that are eating exactly what they found in the study. Science does not lie. And so, just because you eat meat, I'm not gonna, oh my gosh, go after you. Some people in my family do. We're just saying eat less. It's better for the environment. Eat as less as possible. Try plant foods. Try new recipes. Meet up with a plant-based dietitian. Have someone help you. So that's a little bit of the story.
Okay, I have several things to follow up on. The first thing, I was really happy to hear you say this because you never know what's true on the internet. And I don't know if other people have, but I've always wondered. So is it better to spend my energy going to the gym, or is it better to spend my effort what I eat? And last year I read an article online that said somebody did all the math and did all the work, and they said 80% of you is what you eat and 20% is what you exercise. And that's exactly what you just said.
Because it's true. I've done a bariatric weight loss here in Massachusetts and in Georgia for several years. And all of our patients, whether it's medical weight loss or just, lifestyle changes, we always tell them, exercise is really good. We don't want you to beat yourself up over exercise, but exercise does help to maintain that weight loss over time. However, if you're not eating the way you should, if you're not eating the foods you enjoy as well, you have to enjoy it and you have to cook it in the way you like it, you're not going to continue that lifestyle. You're just going to go back to square one, and then your weight's going to go up, and then it's going to go into a cycle, and then your metabolism is going to slow down. And when you do start that new quote unquote diet, it's going to be even harder for you to lose the weight.
All right. Now we're going to get to the hardest question right now.
Oh, no.
I don't know, a while ago now, I made a switch from, and we'll talk about drinks later, but I made a switch from cola to Diet Cola. And before I made that switch, I hated diet soda and I really liked regular soda. And I was very surprised that within 6 months, I really liked the taste of diet soda and I do not like the taste of regular soda. So my question, and that was why I was asking you if you've always been mostly plant-based or if you've eaten meat in the past, because you've got me very interested in trying to do something for this weekend coming up, right? So what should I do? If I want to switch from a hamburger, should I go for a turkey burger, or are the plant-based burgers are they going to be satisfying? Are they good, or do I need to get used to them because it's very different? What do you think?
Yeah, I think you should go for the plant-based burger. There are different types of plant-based burger. There's some that are made with quinoa, which is a grain. They could be made with millet. They can be made with beans. I find that the mushroom bean type burgers are more mimics meat. It's more meaty and chewier. So that's probably the version you probably want, because when I made the transition, or when anyone's making the transition to plant-based, I would say you're probably missing that texture and that feeling of meat. So mushrooms are good to mimic that flavor. Believe it or not, jackfruit. I've made some recipes with jackfruit. It's meat. It looks like shredded pulled pork. And and my husband was like, oh my gosh, what is this? I was like, it's not meat. Right. So, but you have to make sure you're adding protein in different ways into these ingredients. And so at the store, they do have jackfruit at the store. They do have bean burger, mushroom burger. So there's a variety. I usually have my clients, I teach them on label reading, because there's certain ingredients I have people, my woman, I stay away from certain ingredients for hormonal control. So I walk you through the label reading, and I tell you, these are some good things to look for when looking at the labels. I do have certain brands in mind that I like, but I don't really like saying brands because one day I may like a brand and they throw something in it that I don't like anymore. So the goal though is, yes, go ahead and experiment with a plant-based burger. And your first choice, guess what? Your taste buds, they change often. And so I now crave the foods that I now eat. Before I didn't, because your taste buds are used to the taste. Even like, for example, if you were reducing your sodium, I give this challenge to many people. We Americans eat a lot of sodium, too much sodium, right? Heart disease is number one. Reducing that sodium and the fat content is important. So I challenge you to start using less salt. And as you use less salt, when you go to a restaurant, you're gonna taste your food. You're gonna be like, this is salty. because you're not used to the amount of salt that they are using in their food. You're used to less sodium. And so if you follow a low sodium diet at home, your taste buds are going to adjust and your foods are going to be just as flavorful. Similar with plant foods. When you eat these plant foods, they're going to taste better over time. Not that they taste bad the first time, but over time, you're going to crave them and your taste buds are going to want them more. So yeah, definitely go ahead and try that. And also, things on the side like fries, mashed potatoes, try like a cabbage slaw, like a cabbage slaw or like a cucumber carrot slaw on the side instead of like a mashed potato or mac and cheese. Or if you are going to have mac and cheese, maybe have a smaller portion because it really is about portion control. A lot of people can really eat all the foods they really enjoy in very, very small portions and eat the other foods that they need more that are filled with fiber and protein, particularly plant protein. So it's not about restriction so much. It's about that size, like ice cream, right? If you're gonna have a dessert, half cup of ice cream is a serving size. Most people, when they go out to eat, they have the ice cream. When I look at it, my eyeballs are like this, but I try not to do that. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's such a nice, yeah, that looks so, wow, that looks delicious. As a dietitian, I try not to judge whether the way the person look, what they're eating. I try not to say anything about people's food because it's really not polite. It's not ethical to talk about the way someone looks, the way what they're eating. If they ask me a question, yes, I will tell you right away, but I'm not going to judge. But when you go to get an ice cream, look at those scoop sizes. A lot of them are not half cup. When you ask for a small, I've measured it. Like, oh, can I get a small? The small is not even really a half cup. It's like a cup.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Get
important.
a small and split it with your significant other. It doesn't mean you can't have it. And there are plant-based ice creams out there too, which is no cholesterol and less fat. But whatever ice cream you're gonna have, whatever food you're gonna have, portion control. It doesn't mean you're gonna starve. It means you're gonna eat more veggies. You're gonna eat more lean protein, right? It doesn't mean you're going to eat no carbs because you do need carbohydrates, but where are you going to get those carbs from? Maybe baked beans or maybe, baked beans with less added sugar and meats in it. But, there's different types of options that you could definitely use to fill up on without the added salt, sugar, and fat.
Yes. In fact, I really agree with you that portion control is important because my wife is a real connoisseur of ice cream, and she has always said, "I would rather have less and have it be good than to have it
Yes,
be something that I don't like."
yes.
What I have found in my life is it's never enough. If I eat a chocolate chip cookie, I want another one. If I eat a dozen chocolate chip cookies, I want another one. So I might as well just go ahead and eat one and still want one, but I've only had one and not a dozen. So I'm going to follow up on that because I really like the idea of a hamburger made out of mushrooms because mushrooms are delicious.
Yes, they are.
Try one of those. Is there any record? Is there a hot dog 2.0 version, or is there just nothing that can replace a hot dog?
Okay, so here's hot dog. Here's the thing with hot dogs. Hot dogs, a lot of them have nitrate, and nitrites are carcinogens, and the FDA does allow some carcinogens in foods of small amounts. They're called GRAS, GRAS, generally recognized as safe, right? And so they're in things like cured bacon and things like that. So you have to watch out for those things in hot dogs. Some hot dogs may say nitrate free, but hot dogs are on the list for the highest in saturated fat. Hot dogs, sausages, cheddar cheese. They're on the list for saturated fat galore. But now, like I said, it's 4th of July. If you only have hot dog once or twice a year, that's totally fine. But if you love hot dogs, you want to have it more often, try the plant-based hot dogs. There are some hot dogs made from organic soy, and I recommend if you're going to eat soybeans, any kind of soy food should be organic if you can get it, or non-GMO, because soy is one of the most heavily sprayed or pesticide sprayed food in the United States. And there's some controversy regarding on what these pesticides do to the body. But as a women's health dietitian, I have my pregnant women, children stay away as much as possible from the pesticides because there are studies that back it up, that show that you know glyphosate increased risk of cancer, and there's some people that even sued against this company because of blood cancer and different things like that. So if you're gonna eat a hot dog, try to make sure it's nitrate free. Try to switch to plant-based if you're gonna eat more often. And if you're gonna eat fruits and vegetables, I didn't mention that earlier. Try to get, eat fruits and vegetables that are on, the clean list, or the dirty dozen, stay away from if you possibly can. I usually teach that to my clients as well. Or if you have a fruit and vegetable wash that you want to wash your fruits and vegetables off of, there's some of the highest pesticide foods are like berries, which are in season now. So if you shop local, get your local farmers market. Usually they don't spray. And I ask, so do you spray? And they may not have the USDA stamp, because that's how you know, because you have to pay for that USDA stamp. Some companies can't afford to pay, but they'll tell you, hey, I'm a local farmer. I don't spray my things. If you trust them, you could get it from them. So there are ways to not, spend a lot to spend a lot on, buying these fruits and vegetables, by buying in season and buying local.
Okay. Thinking, boy, there's a lot there. Now, you mentioned the Dirty Dozen. Did you say what that was?
Yeah, so the dirty dozen are like some of the top fruits and vegetables that have been sprayed with heavy pesticides. And some of those are, if you want to look it up, they could be like apples, berries, I believe white potatoes are on there. And so from experience, I could taste the difference between strawberries. I am a connoisseur of strawberries. I could tell right away a strawberry.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so I could tell right away for strawberry if it's organic or not. It's so much sweeter. I could tell the difference. It's different for me. Like I said, you don't know what those side effects are producing in your body over time. Whether it's making you more hungry, whether it's making your inflammation react more. The studies do show some effects with fertility for women who are trying to get pregnant. It could cause fertility issues and birth defects. There's some birth defect issues that they have kind of correlated with pesticides. So I definitely would try to go by that list if possible. Yeah.
And so you're not saying not to eat apples because they're on a list, but to look for the organic ones?
Yeah, so if you look for like the organic apples, or if you shop local, ask the farmer, have you sprayed pesticides, or do you currently use, and they'll say no, or honestly, they'll, if you trust them, you could buy from them. But yeah, when we buy apples, because my husband like apples, he can also tell because he loves apples. And when they're in season, the price is reasonable. When you're buying fruits and vegetables out of season, that's when the price goes up. So, so buy in season, and also frozen. Frozen fruits and vegetables doesn't necessarily mean that the nutrition content is less. Some nutrition content is actually higher because they pick them at a higher nutritional peak. When they're right at that peak, they pick them and they freeze them. And so the nutritional value is kept even longer. So not all of them are lower in nutrition content.
And if I go for, let's just say, an organic apple or an organic strawberry, should I be aware of anything? I don't shelf life or appearance, or what do you think?
No, actually, the shelf life on organic apples, for example, is just maybe like 2 weeks. If you put them in the refrigerator, they could last longer than that. Even strawberries, But yes, sometimes when they spray these products, the shelf life, it could make it longer. But even some sprayed like bananas, like I've had bananas and they weren't organic, because bananas are not on the list. You actually can get bananas non-organic because the skin is so hard. You're not typically eating the skin, but it takes a long time to ripe, or it'll stay green for a long time. I'm like, like it's just different. But when you eat it, it tastes basically the same, the bananas, to me, if they're organic or not. But the outside, it's just something's different about it. But if you are able to afford to buy many of your fruits and vegetables organic, go ahead. But it's not a necessary criteria. But of those top foods I mentioned, I would say try to limit those for sure when you're enjoying your 4th of July if possible. But and then some dietitians and some healthcare providers, they argue against it because they're like, most Americans are not even getting nearly as much as they need. So here's the logic. Just eat whatever you can, because most Americans are not eating it. Here's the thing though. We're not eating it because we're eating more of the carbohydrates, the fats, and then the protein content. We're not making that switch. instead of half our plate being vegetables, half our plates like meat or carbs, depending on what you love, right? So, and affordability in many home houses, many homes, yes, affordability can be an issue as well. But like I said, if you buy local, if you grow your foods and different things like that, it will cut costs. And if you reduce a plant-based, if you reduce animal-based foods, which are eggs are expensive for some people, meats can be expensive. You're gonna get beans, lentils, peas. Those are so much cheaper when you buy them dried. You're saving tons of money getting beans, lentils, peas, and things like that into your home and swapping them out for higher protein luxury foods, shrimp, lobster, meats, and all that stuff. You're saving tons of money.
Yeah. Wow. That it sounds really good. I mean, it sounds like there's no downside. It just upside.
Yeah. Yeah, but like I said, I want people to enjoy their 4th of July. So, go ahead and add those vegetables on your skewers, just the skewers with your favorite proteins, whether it's tofu. I've done tofu on the grill with a board. What do you call those boards? Those maple wood boards.
Okay.
Yeah, the maple wood boards. It's the smoke flavor actually comes into the tofu. You could even try put in different types of fruits, like pineapple is popular to grill pineapple,
Yeah.
and to kind of put it on a side item next to your food. So that's the way to sneak in a fruit within your meal. So the fiber is the key. And fruits and vegetables, beans, nuts, and seeds we need to eat more of it. And disease risk will go down. And then you need to know how to make it. If you don't know how to make those foods, you're gonna say, oh, I'm not gonna eat that. That tastes blah, because you haven't had it from a good cook. You haven't had it from a good cook, or you haven't gone to a good restaurant. There's a lot of plant-based restaurants in Massachusetts. Massachusetts has a lot. I love this place because I've gone to so many different types of vegan, vegetarian restaurants. It's all over the place. If you haven't tried one, go and try it this weekend. There is True Bistro. There is I can't even think right now. Like my brain just stopped. But there's so many different types of restaurants. There's Be Good. Be Good also caters to plants and non-plant eaters. Be Good is a really good one. It's across the street from my job, right in our area, and they have a lot of plant-based options. I mean, there's tons of plant-based options. There's just no excuse for anyone, even during the holidays, to try some more plant-based foods.
Okay. All right, now we're getting down to our last minute. This is a huge amount of information. So what do we put on the table for beverages? Anything snappier than just water? What do you suggest?
Yeah, so there are mocktails. I like mocktails, and I usually encourage them for my audience. My audience are usually young girls or women trying to get pregnant, or try to increase fertility or decrease risk. So I'm always going to go for mocktails. And what are mocktails? You could do strawberry margaritas. You could do mojitos that could be made without alcohol. And why am I saying without alcohol? Again, because of the audience I serve, but also because alcohol, increases your risk for a lot of illnesses, right? So cancer is #2 killer in the United States. So if someone comes to me and they say, hey, I like wine, don't touch it, I'm not going to touch your wine. So I cater to kind of what you want me to help you with. If wine is something that you don't want me to talk about, and I won't look at it at your intake, I'll just roll my eyes over and we'll talk about something else. I'll do that. But if you want me to truly help you cut calories, to help you live healthier, I'm going to say, hey, I see you have wine like 2 glasses a night, every night. Let's talk about that, So you could drink in moderation, or you could just take it out at all. Because at 360 Girls and Women, I don't advocate for, get ready, I don't advocate for alcohol, caffeine, for several reasons. Because caffeine dehydrates you, especially in the summer. You want to make sure you're hydrating yourself with things that are not going to make you want to drink more. Also, caffeine it fatigues your adrenal glands. It kind of wears you out. It makes you dependent on it, and makes you it stimulates you all the time. And you want to be on a natural high. You want to have your own energy, be on your own high. And so I usually say try to do decaf or less caffeine as possible. As far as alcohol is concerned, again, I don't advocate for alcohol. I try to tell my patients to try to switch to mocktails. I have them do strawberry mocktails. I have them do either peach drinks. And so these drinks are low calories because they have seltzer water, herbs like rosemary, lime, and they have the fizz that they want, or they have the feeling that they're drinking that they want. But yeah, I mean, as far as alcohol is concerned, again, the third thing is calories. So beer, right? Beer has about like anywhere from 150, 130 to like 300 calories, depending on what kind of beer you're drinking. Wine has like, well, actually beer could have more. Wine has about like the lower 100 calories for a glass of wine, right? Gin and whiskey, they have the lowest. They could be like 90 calories. So know your calories. If you want to drink, again, I'm not advocating for it, but if you want to drink, get the lowest calorie. And then think about this. Do you rather drink your calories, or do you rather eat your calories? Are you hungry all the time? Do you rather eat your calories or drink your calories? Because patients that come to me like, hey, you want something to drink, let's find some substitutes that you can use to drink. And then, but let's first fill up on food. And then that urge to want to drink may be less. And then, over time, I've helped people cut their drinking down and cut their weight down. But if you're trying to, again, live healthier, and those people in the blue zones, do you know the ones that live longer? So the Mediterranean, the Greece area, Loma Linda, different areas, a lot of them, if they do drink, they drink very little. And then the ones that live longer don't drink at all.
Okay. Last question, because we're really low on time, but you said this. What's the prescription if you are hungry all the time?
Okay, so if you are hungry all the time, you got to think about what you're eating on your plate. If you're eating the wrong types of food that helps you to be more hungry, then we need to swap them out. If you're just eating white rice instead of brown rice, that the fiber is gone. If you're eating just protein, but you're eating no carbs, carbs give you energy and you get really hungry. So that's a tough question, because I kind of have to look at the person in like a totality to see what they're actually eating. But the top is balance your plate with protein, carbs, and fat. Balance your plate, protein, carbs, and fat. Half your plate, tons of veggies. Have some healthy fats like avocado, nuts, or things like that. And have a protein palm size. USDA talks about the palm size, the plate. And that's like the recipe to help you eat. Also, to not go too long without eating. If you skip breakfast, if you're skipping meals, if you're drinking your calories and you're not eating, when you drink, think about this, when you drink food or drink drinks, your body empties it quickly and digests it quickly, so you get hungry sooner. You know what I mean? So try not to drink too much, do too many smoothies. If you're doing too many smoothies, too many drinks, that could be a reason why you're hungry. You're not filling up. It's called volumetrics. You're not filling up with those foods to expand in the abdominal cavity, in the intestines. So we talked about portion. I talked about liquids, and the other thing is, like I said, timing of your meals. Make sure you give yourself 4 or 5 hours or so between meals. If you're eating at 7 a.m. and then you don't eat till like 3 in the afternoon, that's way too long. You're going to be ravenous by the time you get to eat, and you're going to overeat.
Okay. So last question. What is on your plate for 4th of July celebration?
Yeah, so on my plate, I'm going to have corn. I mentioned like a recipe that I have corn and beans. I'm going to have a veggie burger, and I am going to have like a slaw. I'm going to have a cucumber slaw. My husband's from family's from St. Lucia. They have something called kum kum, which is a cucumber. I think I'm pronouncing it right. A cucumber slaw with garlic, raw garlic, cucumber, and other spices. And it's like a crunch and like a tang. And I'm gonna have that, and I may make some regular burgers for him if he wants, but he's definitely gonna have some of the options that I'm gonna eat as well. My daughter loves tofu. She loves chicken, but every time I'm eating tofu, mommy, I want some of that tofu. And you wouldn't believe a 7-year-old wants tofu, but if you cook it right and you know how to make it into the meal, it's gonna be tasty. So I thank you so much, for having me. And I have resources at 360girlsandwomen.com if you ever want to go on. I launched the site in March, so more things are coming. I do have a blog. I do have a newsletter. You want to go to the newsletter, sign up for information. You want to go book a discovery call if you want to just figure out if you want to learn to see if we can meet your goals together. That's the way to go, is this discovery call. Or if you just want to send a question, send it through the contact me and I'll answer a question. They'll send it over to me and I'll answer your question within about 48 hours, business hours. So.
Yeah. Well, Sue Ellen, this has been great, and you are fantastic. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, not only for sharing your knowledge, but for what you do, because you're one of those people that are life changers, that you can turn people's lives around and give them a much more satisfying, much longer, and just a better life. So you
Yes.
do wonderful work.
Yeah, thank you so much. The work that I've done over time has really enriched me as an individual. The changes I've experienced in my life and others actually brought me to tears sometimes. And people come back to me and tell me stories about themselves and their family. So I really enjoy what I do. I'm very passionate about what I do. My work at Joslin doesn't stop there. That's why I created my wellness company, because I want to reach more people and I want to reach a specific audience. These girls and women, they need our help. Women are dying more of a lot of issues, and so that's one of the reasons why. So thank you again for having me on. And National Diabetes Month is November, and breastfeeding awareness month is August. So if there's any things you want me to talk about, just let me know. But thank you again for having me on your show.
Perfect. You just gave me the schedule. I will be in touch.
No problem. Enjoy your 4th of July. Take care.
Thank you. I'm gonna try a mushroom.
Try. Yeah, you have me here. If you have any questions, you can definitely reach out.
Thank you, Sue Ellen.
Take care.
All right. And thank you for watching us on this episode of the Hangout Hour. We invite you back next time, where we'll be talking more about issues and with people who really affect and contribute to our community. So thank you. I hope you have a great night, and we'll see you next time.